Get back in the ghetto where you belong, you worthless piece of trash. Officer Bradley Thompson's voice cuts through the upscale shopping district like a whip. He shoves Dr. Kesha Williams hard against her car, her designer shopping bag scattering across the pavement like garbage. Then his hand explodes across her face. The slap whips her head sideways. The security camera timestamp burns the moment into history, the moment that would obliterate a career and shock a nation. Horrified shoppers freeze. Cell phones shoot up like weapons, recording every second as a uniformed officer assaults an innocent black woman in broad daylight. Dr. Williams touches the fire spreading across her cheek, her voice ice-cold through the pain. Officer Thompson, you have no idea what you've just done to yourself. This slap would shatter everything Thompson believed about his untouchable power. Have you ever watched someone's hatred completely destroy them? Sometime earlier, Dr. Kesha Williams stands in front of her bathroom mirror, adjusting the collar of her navy blazer. Soon, she'll walk into the Central District Police Department as their new chief. 20 years of climbing through the ranks, a Harvard Ph.D. in criminology, and countless nights studying reform strategies have led to this moment. Big changes are coming, she whispers to her reflection, practicing the confident smile she'll need when facing a department that's never had a black woman in charge. Her phone buzzes. Mayor Patricia Carter's name lights up the screen. Kesha, I know you start officially soon, but I wanted to check in. The city council is behind you 100%. Clean house however you need to. Dr. Williams walks to her kitchen window, looking out at the city she's about to help transform. Ma'am, I've been studying the complaint files. There are some officers who've been getting away with behavior that would get anyone else fired. Like who? Officer Bradley Thompson. 12 complaints in 2 years, all involving black citizens, excessive force, racial profiling, intimidation. His union keeps protecting him, but not for much longer. The mayor's voice hardens. Do what needs to be done. This city is tired of lawsuit settlements and bad press. After hanging up, Dr. Williams opens her laptop and pulls up Thompson's file again. His photo stares back at her, a smug-looking white man with cold eyes and a smile that doesn't reach them. She's memorized his record. 8 excessive force complaints, 4 racial profiling incidents, and enough red flags to staff a communist parade. What she doesn't know is that at this exact moment across town, Officer Bradley Thompson is at Iron Fitness Gym, demonstrating what he calls compliance techniques to a group of rookie officers. Thompson's fist slams into the heavy bag with practiced precision. Sometimes these people don't understand words. He grunts, sweat dripping from his forehead. You got to speak their language, physical persuasion. The rookies watch uncomfortably as Thompson demonstrates various control holds and compliance strikes. His favorite move involves an open-handed slap to the face, what he calls attitude adjustment. The trick is making it look justified, Thompson continues, his voice taking on the tone of a professor lecturing students. They get mouthy, you shut them up, they resist, you escalate, always documented as necessary. Officer Sarah Carter, fresh out of the academy, raises her hand tentatively. Sergeant, isn't there usually a de-escalation protocol we should try first? Thompson's laugh is harsh and dismissive. Chen, you're going to learn real quick that textbook tactics don't work in the real world, especially not with certain demographics. These people only respect strength. The racial undertone isn't lost on anyone in the room. But Thompson's reputation for protecting officers who follow his methods keeps mouths shut. He's been doing this for 12 years, and his squad has never had an officer face serious discipline. What Thompson doesn't realize is that everything is about to change. Back at her apartment, Dr. Williams is getting ready for what she thinks will be a relaxing day of shopping for professional clothes. She needs outfits that project authority while remaining approachable. The delicate balance every woman in leadership knows well. She chooses the upscale Meridian shopping district, known for its high-end boutiques and professional atmosphere. It's exactly the kind of place where she can find the wardrobes befitting a police chief. As she locks her apartment door, Dr. Williams has no idea that Thompson's patrol route for today includes the Meridian District. The duty sergeant assigned him there specifically to maintain order and protect the quality of life for law-abiding citizens. Code words. Thompson understands perfectly. Thompson arrives at the precinct that morning whistling. The day feels lucky. His captain mentioned that the new chief starts soon. Some reform-minded outsider who probably doesn't understand how real police work gets done. Thompson figures he has some time to enjoy his current freedom before dealing with whatever bleeding heart policies are coming. Thompson, you're in Meridian District today, Sergeant Martinez announces during roll call. Keep it clean. We've had complaints about aggressive policing in that area. Thompson nods with mock seriousness while internally rolling his eyes. The Meridian District is his favorite assignment. Upscale, mostly white, where a cop can protect and serve the right kind of people. As he drives toward his patrol area, Thompson has no idea he's about to encounter the one person who can end his career with 5 simple words. The stage is set. 2 lives on a collision course. Soon, everything will have changed. Dr. Kesha Williams parks her black BMW sedan outside Meridian Boutique, the kind of upscale store where price tags don't have dollar signs, because if you have to ask, you can't afford it. She's already picked up 3 outfits from other shops, professional blazers and dresses that will help her command respect in a job where every choice gets scrutinized. The BMW's government plates catch the afternoon sun, but nobody pays attention to the official markings. To most people walking by, she's just another well-dressed woman with expensive taste. Inside the boutique, the sales associate hovers nervously as Dr. Williams examines a charcoal gray suit. The woman clearly wants to ask if she can afford it, but doesn't quite dare. Dr. Williams has dealt with this dance her entire adult life, the careful calculations people make based on her skin color, the assumptions about her place in the world. I'll take this one and the navy dress from the window, Dr. Williams says, pulling out a platinum credit card without ceremony. The associate's demeanor shifts instantly. Of course, ma'am. Excellent choices. These pieces will serve you well in any professional setting. As Dr. Williams waits for her items to be wrapped, her phone rings. Mayor Carter again. Kesha. The press conference is scheduled soon. Channel 7 wants to do a segment about your appointment, first black woman police chief in the city's history. Are you ready for that spotlight? Ready as I'll ever be. Though I suspect some people in the department won't be thrilled about the attention. Let them adjust. The city needs this change, and you're the person to make it happen. Dr. Williams steps outside, juggling her phone and shopping bags as she heads toward her car. The afternoon sun feels warm on her face, and for a moment she allows herself to feel optimistic about the week ahead. She doesn't notice the police cruiser pulling into the parking lot behind her. Officer Bradley Thompson has been having a slow day. Hours into his shift and nothing but minor traffic stops and one noise complaint from a restaurant. He's antsy, looking for something meaningful to justify his presence in this upscale neighborhood. When he spots the black woman loading shopping bags into an expensive BMW, every instinct he's cultivated over 12 years starts firing. Wrong demographic for this neighborhood. Wrong car for her likely income level. Wrong everything. Thompson radios dispatch as he parks across the street. Unit 47 to Central. I've got a suspicious individual in the Meridian shopping area. Possible theft in progress. Requesting backup for questioning. Copy. Unit 47. Nature of suspicious activity. Thompson watches Dr. Williams organize her bags in the trunk, his mind already constructing the narrative. Individuals don't match the area demographic, multiple shopping bags from high-end stores, possible shoplifting or credit card fraud. The dispatcher's voice carries a note of hesitation. Unit 47. Do you have visual confirmation of criminal activity? Working on it, Thompson replies, already out of his cruiser. Dr. Williams is closing her trunk when she hears heavy footsteps approaching fast. She turns to see a uniformed officer striding toward her with the kind of purposeful aggression that makes her stomach tighten. Ma'am, I need to see some identification and check those bags. Thompson's voice carries the authority of someone who's never been told no by someone who looks like her. His hand rests casually on his service weapon, a not-so-subtle intimidation tactic. Dr. Williams keeps her hands visible and her voice calm. Officer, may I ask what this is regarding? You can ask, but I'm the one asking questions here. ID and receipts for everything in those bags, now. The racial profiling is so blatant it takes Dr. Williams's breath away. She's studied hundreds of cases like this, but experiencing it firsthand hits differently. Still, she maintains her composure. 20 years in law enforcement taught her that cooperation usually de-escalates situations. Of course, officer. My wallet is in my purse. As she reaches for her bag, Thompson grabs her wrist hard enough to leave marks. Slowly. Keep your other hand where I can see it. Dr. Williams's credentials spill from her purse as he forces her hand down, landing face down on the asphalt where neither of them can see them. Her driver's license shows her address in Westfield Heights, one of the city's most expensive neighborhoods. Thompson examines the license like he's searching for forgery. Is this your real address? Yes, sir. What kind of work do you do that pays for a house in Westfield? The question hangs in the air like a challenge. Dr. Williams recognizes the trap. Any answer that suggests she has money will be met with suspicion about how someone like her could afford it. I work in law enforcement, she says carefully. Thompson's laugh is sharp and disbelieving. Right. What department? I start with the Central District Police Department soon. Doing what? Cleaning? The insult hits like a physical blow, but Dr. Williams keeps her voice steady. I'm familiar with police procedure, officer. You're required to have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity to detain me. What specific crime do you suspect me of committing? Thompson's face flushes red. Nobody talks to him about the procedure, especially not someone who looks like her. In his mind, her knowledge of police protocols only makes her more suspicious. Don't lecture me about my job, lady. Let's see those receipts. Dr. Williams produces 3 receipts from her shopping trip, each one properly dated and matching the contents of her bags. Thompson examines them with the intensity of a detective studying evidence in a murder case, clearly hoping to find some discrepancy. Every receipt is legitimate, every item accounted for. His justification for the stop is evaporating, and he knows it. By now, a crowd has gathered. People holding phones, some recording openly. Marcus Henderson, a college student who was walking to his car, positions himself across the street and starts live streaming on Instagram. Folks, I'm watching what appears to be a black woman getting harassed by police for shopping while black, Marcus narrates quietly to his phone. She's got all her receipts, she's being completely cooperative, and this cop is still treating her like a criminal. Thompson notices the cameras and feels trapped. In his experience, backing down in front of an audience makes him look weak. He needs to maintain control, establish dominance, show everyone watching that he's the authority here. Ma'am, you're being extremely uncooperative and disrespectful, he announces loudly enough for the cameras to pick up. I'm placing you under arrest for resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. The charges are completely fabricated, and everyone watching knows it. Dr. Williams hasn't resisted anything. She's been nothing but professional and compliant. Officer, I haven't resisted anything. I've answered all your questions and provided everything you requested. This is harassment. The word harassment pushes Thompson over the edge. His face contorts with rage as backup units arrive. Officers Sarah Carter and David Martinez, both of whom can see immediately that something is wrong with this stop. Chen, Martinez, this individual is under arrest for resisting arrest and public disturbance, Thompson barks, pulling out his handcuffs. Officer Carter approaches cautiously. She's noticed the government plates on the BMW and the expensive clothes scattered from the shopping bags. Something about the woman's composure and the way she speaks suggests she knows exactly what's happening and why it's wrong. Sarge, maybe we should just issue a warning. Carter suggests quietly. She's got all her receipts, and I don't see any actual resistance. Thompson whirls on her. Chen, are you questioning my judgment? Because if you can't handle real police work, maybe you should transfer to community relations. Dr. Williams watches the dynamic play out, recognizing the toxic culture that allows officers like Thompson to operate without accountability. Junior officers were too intimidated to speak up. A system that protects aggressive cops at the expense of justice. Officer Thompson, Dr. Williams says, her voice carrying a quiet authority that makes everyone stop talking. You're making a serious mistake. The only mistake here is you thinking you can mouth off to a police officer, Thompson snarls. You people always think you're smarter than everyone else. The racial slur is barely veiled, and everyone within earshot recognizes it. Marcus Henderson adjusts his phone angle to capture Thompson's face clearly as the officer's mask slips completely. You need to learn some respect, Thompson continues, stepping closer until he's invading Dr. Williams' personal space. Maybe a night in lockup will teach you some manners. Dr. Williams looks directly into his eyes. Officer Thompson, I strongly advise you to reconsider your next action. But Thompson is too far gone to hear warnings. His hand is already rising. Fury and embarrassment and 12 years of unchecked power combining into one catastrophic moment. The crowd holds its breath. The cameras keep rolling and time slows to a crawl as Thompson's hand arcs through the afternoon air toward Dr. Williams' face. The slap echoes across the parking lot like a gunshot. Dr. Williams' head snaps to the side, her hand instinctively rising to touch the fire spreading across her left cheek. For a split second, the world goes completely silent. Then chaos erupts. Oh my God! He just hit her! Someone screams from the crowd. Phone cameras swivel to capture the aftermath. A uniformed police officer standing over a woman he just assaulted for no reason anyone can see. Marcus Henderson's live stream explodes with comments. Did y'all just see that? This cop just slapped this woman. This is live right now. His viewer count jumps from 50 to 500 in seconds. Officer Carter stares in horror. Brad, what the hell? Shut up, Carter, Thompson snaps, his face flushed red with adrenaline. He realizes what he's done, but can't back down now. Not with all these cameras watching. She was resisting arrest and became physically aggressive. I used necessary force to maintain control. Dr. Williams lowers her hand, revealing the angry red handprint blooming across her dark skin. When she speaks, her voice is steady as granite. Officer Thompson, you have just committed assault on a police officer. Thompson laughs harshly. Lady, you're about to learn what real consequences look like. Martinez, cuff her. Officer Martinez hesitates, looking between Thompson and Dr. Williams. Something about her composure doesn't match Thompson's narrative. Sarge, maybe we should... That's an order, Martinez. Reluctantly, Martinez approaches with handcuffs. Dr. Williams extends her hands without resistance, her eyes never leaving Thompson's face. You're going to regret this more than you can possibly imagine. As the cuffs click shut, she manages to pull her phone from her jacket pocket. Her fingers fly across the screen before Thompson snatches the device away. Who you text? Thompson demands. My attorney, Dr. Williams says calmly, though she actually texted Mayor Carter. Emergency. Call now. The transport to the Central District Police Department takes 12 minutes. Thompson spends the entire ride radioing ahead, crafting his version of events. Unit 47 to Central. Transporting one female suspect for resisting arrest and assault on a police officer. The subject became physically aggressive and had to be subdued with minimal force. At the station, Desk Sergeant Maria Gonzalez processes the paperwork with practiced efficiency. She's seen Thompson bring in suspects before, usually people who got mouthy during traffic stops. Thompson, what's the deal with this arrest? Your report says she assaulted you, but I don't see any injuries on you, and she's got a handprint on her face. Thompson leans across the booking desk. She tried to hit me first. Maria, I blocked it and gave her a compliance slap. You know how these people get when they think they're better than us." Sergeant Gonzalez looks at Dr. Williams, who's standing quietly by the fingerprint station. The woman's posture and clothes suggest education and composure. Nothing about her screams violent criminal. "Ma'am, do you have any injuries you need medical attention for?" Gonzalez asks. "Just the assault from Officer Thompson," Dr. Williams replies clearly. "I'd like that documented in the booking photos, please." As the booking photographer captures images, the handprint is clearly visible. 5 distinct finger marks across her left cheek. The photo's timestamp recorded the event shortly after the assault. In holding cell B, Dr. Williams sits on the metal bench next to 2 other detainees. The irony isn't lost on her that she's sharing space with actual criminals, while her only crime was shopping while black. "What are you in for, sister?" asks a tired-looking woman named Janet. "Existing while black, apparently," Dr. Williams replies, touching her still burning cheek. Janet shakes her head. "Which cop got you? Let me guess. Thompson." Dr. Williams looks at her sharply. "You know him?" "Honey, every black woman in this city knows Thompson. He's got a reputation for putting hands on people who don't show him enough respect. Usually get away with it, too." "Not this time," Dr. Williams says quietly. While she sits in lockup, the video of her assault is going viral. Marcus Henderson's live stream has been shared 800 times. The hashtag #CopsSlapsInnocentWoman is starting to trend on Twitter. More importantly, Mayor Carter is speeding toward the police station after receiving Dr. Williams' cryptic text message. And in the fingerprint lab, technician Robert Kim is about to run Dr. Williams' prints through the federal database, a routine procedure that's about to reveal everything Thompson doesn't know. The machine hums to life, scanning the prints that will change everything. On the screen, words begin to appear that will send shock waves through the entire department. "Classified, high security clearance. Contact federal liaison immediately." Kim stares at the screen in confusion, then picks up his phone to call Captain Rodriguez. He has no idea he's about to deliver news that will end Thompson's career and transform the entire Central District Police Department. The wheels of justice are finally starting to turn. In the fingerprint lab, technician Robert Kim stares at his computer screen like he's seeing a ghost. He's processed thousands of prints over his 8 years at Central District, but he's never seen a classification like this. "Classified. High security clearance, federal law enforcement, contact liaison immediately." Below that, a phone number with a 202 area code, Washington, D.C. Kim picks up his phone with shaking hands and dials Captain Rodriguez's extension. "Captain, we have a situation in the lab. That woman Thompson brought in. Her prints are flagged federally. High security clearance." There's a long pause on the other end. "What kind of federal?" "I don't know, sir. The system won't tell me more without authorization. But it's serious enough that I'm supposed to call Washington." "Don't call anyone yet. I'm coming down." A short time later, Captain Rodriguez bursts into the lab, still holding his coffee mug. He reads the screen twice, his face growing paler with each line. "Kim, run the prints again. Maybe there's an error." "I already did, Captain. 3 times. Same result every time." Rodriguez pulls out his phone and dials desk Sergeant Gonzalez. "Maria, what's the name of that woman Thompson brought in?" "Dr. Kesha Williams, lives in Westfield Heights, works in law enforcement." According to her statement, the captain's blood turns to ice. He knows that name. Every police captain in the state knows that name after the mayor's announcement last week. "Maria, get me everything on Dr. Kesha Williams. Background, employment history, everything, and do it quietly." While Rodriguez scrambles to understand what's happening, Dr. Williams sits in holding cell B checking her watch. She's supposed to walk into this very building as the new police chief. Janet, her cellmate, has been talking non-stop about Thompson's history of abuse. That man's been terrorizing our community for years. My cousin got the same treatment last year, slapped around for talking back, filed a complaint, and nothing happened. Dr. Williams listens carefully, filing away every detail. She's going to need all of this information very soon. Down the hall, Thompson is in the break room regaling other officers with his version of the afternoon's events. You should have seen this woman acting like she owned the place. Had the nerve to lecture me about police procedure. Some people need to be reminded about respect. Officer Carter sits at the far table, picking at her sandwich and feeling sick to her stomach. She's been a cop for 8 months and has never seen anything like what Thompson did today. The woman was completely compliant, and he hit her. Anyway, Captain Rodriguez's phone rings. It's Mayor Carter, and she sounds furious. Captain Rodriguez, I just received a very disturbing text message from someone I know. Please tell me you don't have Dr. Kesha Williams in lockup right now. Rodriguez feels his world tilt sideways. Ma'am, I'm still gathering information about the arrest. There may have been some confusion. Captain, let me be very clear. Dr. Kesha Williams is the new police chief of the Central District. She starts soon. If one of your officers has laid a hand on her, we have a crisis that goes beyond anything this department has ever faced. The line goes dead. Rodriguez stares at his phone, then runs toward the holding cells like the building is on fire. He finds Dr. Williams sitting calmly on the metal bench, looking like she's waiting for a bus rather than sitting in jail. When she sees him approaching, she stands with the kind of natural authority that makes him instinctively straighten his posture. Dr. Williams, Rodriguez says, his voice barely above a whisper. I am so incredibly sorry. We had no idea. Captain Rodriguez, Dr. Williams interrupts, her voice carrying quiet steel. I am your new police chief. The 5 words hit Rodriguez like a physical blow. He fumbles with his keys, hands shaking as he unlocks the cell door. Ma'am, this is inexcusable. I don't know how to apologize for what happened. Dr. Williams steps out of the cell, touching the handprint still visible on her cheek. You can start by explaining how Officer Thompson felt comfortable assaulting someone he perceived as powerless. Rodriguez leads her toward his office, his mind racing through the implications. The new chief assaulted by one of his officers on camera before she was supposed to take command. This isn't just a personnel issue. It's a public relations catastrophe that could destroy the entire department. In the hallway, word spreads like wildfire. Officers emerge from break rooms and offices, staring in shock as their captain escorts the woman Thompson arrested toward the administrative wing. Officer Martinez recognizes her first. Holy, he whispers to Carter. That's Dr. Kesha Williams, the new chief. Thompson slapped the new chief. Chen feels her knees go weak. She pulls out her phone and Googles Dr. Williams's name. The results make her feel sicker. Harvard Ph.D. in criminology, 20 years in federal law enforcement, expert in police reform and community relations, personally recommended by the Attorney General. And Thompson slapped her for shopping while black. In Captain Rodriguez's office, Dr. Williams sits across from his desk, declining his offer of coffee or water. The handprint on her face seems to glow under the fluorescent lights, a permanent reminder of Thompson's catastrophic error. Dr. Williams, I need you to know that Thompson's actions don't represent this department's values, Rodriguez begins. Dr. Williams raises an eyebrow. Captain, Officer Thompson has 12 complaints in his file, 8 for excessive force, all involving black citizens. His actions represent exactly what this department has been tolerating. Rodriguez swallows hard. What do you need from me right now? I need Thompson suspended immediately. I need every officer who witnessed the assault interviewed, and I need to see his complete personnel file, including every complaint that was dismissed or buried. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Dr. Williams stands and walks to the window overlooking the bullpen. She can see officers huddled in small groups, their conversations stopping whenever they notice her watching. Captain, I was supposed to start my tenure here by introducing reform policies and building community trust. Instead, I'm going to start by investigating why one of your officers felt entitled to assault his new boss. She turns back to Rodriguez, and he sees something in her eyes that makes him realize Thompson's career isn't the only thing in jeopardy. This department is about to change in ways none of you are prepared for. The question is whether you're going to be part of the solution or part of the problem that needs to be cleaned out. Down the hall, Thompson is still laughing with his buddies, completely unaware that his world is about to explode. Soon, Rodriguez will call him to the office. Then, Thompson will see the woman he assaulted sitting behind the captain's desk. And then, he'll learn that he just destroyed his career by slapping his new boss. Captain Rodriguez picks up his desk phone with trembling fingers. Rodriguez, to all units, Officer Thompson, report to my office immediately. Down the hall, Thompson finishes his story about putting that uppity woman in her place to a group of officers who've grown increasingly uncomfortable with his bragging. When the call comes through the intercom, he grins smugly. Probably wants to commend me for handling a difficult situation, Thompson tells Officer Davis. That woman was completely out of line. Sometimes you got to show these people who's really in charge. Officer Carter watches Thompson swagger toward the captain's office, her stomach churning with dread. She knows what's waiting for him, and despite everything, she almost feels sorry for what's about to happen. Thompson knocks on Rodriguez's door with confidence, then pushes it open without waiting for permission. You wanted to see me, Cap? I hope this is about that incident report. I made sure to document everything properly so the department's protected if that woman tries to file a frivolous complaint. These people always... He stops mid-sentence. Dr. Williams sits in the chair facing Rodriguez's desk, her hands folded in her lap, the red handprint still visible across her dark skin. For a moment, Thompson's brain refuses to process what he's seeing. Officer Thompson, Rodriguez says, his voice tight with barely controlled anger. I'd like you to meet Dr. Kesha Williams. Thompson blinks rapidly, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. What? Why is she here? She's supposed to be in lockup. Did someone post her bail already? Dr. Williams stands slowly, her movement deliberate and controlled. When she speaks, her voice carries the quiet authority of someone who spent 20 years commanding respect in rooms full of men who underestimated her. Officer Thompson, I'm your new police chief. The words hit Thompson like a physical blow. He stumbles backward, his face draining of all color. That's impossible. The new chief is supposed to be some guy from the feds. Rodriguez, what kind of sick joke is this? I am from the feds, Dr. Williams says calmly. 20 years with the FBI's Civil Rights Division, specializing in police misconduct and systemic reform. I was personally selected by the mayor to clean up departments exactly like this one. Thompson's legs give out and he collapses into the remaining chair. His mind races through the implications, each realization worse than the last. He assaulted his new boss on camera in front of witnesses before she was supposed to take command. This is a mistake, Thompson stammers, sweat beading on his forehead despite the air conditioning. I was just doing my job. She was acting suspicious. And when I tried to question her, she became hostile and aggressive. I had to defend myself. Officer Thompson, Dr. Williams interrupts, her voice cutting through his lies like a blade. I've watched the video footage from the scene. Multiple angles, crystal clear audio. Would you like me to play it for you? Rodriguez slides a tablet across his desk. On the screen, security camera footage shows Thompson approaching Dr. Williams, escalating the situation without provocation and ultimately slapping her across the face. The audio is clear enough to hear every racist insult, every fabricated justification. Thompson watches his career die in real time. Ma'am, I can explain. You don't understand the full context. That neighborhood has problems with theft. And explain what? How did you racially profile me for shopping in an upscale neighborhood? How do you fabricate charges when you couldn't find evidence of wrongdoing? Or how you committed assault and battery against a superior officer? Dr. Williams walks around Rodriguez's desk and opens a thick manila folder. Thompson's personnel file spills across the surface. 12 years of complaints, disciplinary actions that were mysteriously dropped, and a pattern of behavior that should have ended his career years ago. 8 excessive force complaints in 2 years, Officer Thompson, all involving black citizens, all mysteriously dismissed or buried in bureaucratic delays. Care to explain that pattern? Thompson's mouth works soundlessly. He's never had to actually answer for his actions before. Never faced someone who couldn't be intimidated or brushed aside. His usual tactics, aggressive posturing, veiled threats, appeals to the thin blue line, mean nothing in this room. Dr. Williams continues, her voice growing harder with each revelation. Mrs. Angela Davis, 2023. You slapped her during a traffic stop for talking back. Complaint dismissed due to insufficient evidence despite witness testimony. She flips a page. Mr. Jerome Washington, 2023. You used what you called a compliance strike to the face during a stop and frisk that yielded no contraband. Complaint dismissed because Mr. Washington had a prior arrest record that had nothing to do with the incident. Another page. Ms. LaToya Jenkins, 2024. You struck her with an open hand during a domestic disturbance call where she was the victim seeking help. Complaint dismissed because she initially declined to press charges out of fear of retaliation. With each name, Thompson sinks deeper into his chair. These aren't isolated incidents. They're a pattern of systematic abuse that he thought would never catch up to him. The union protection, the code of silence, the bureaucratic maze that usually protected officers like him. None of it matters now. And today, Dr. Williams says, her voice dropping to a whisper that's somehow more terrifying than shouting, you made the mistake of assaulting someone who actually has the power to hold you accountable. Captain Rodriguez clears his throat, his own career flashing before his eyes as he realizes how much he allowed to slide under his watch. Ma'am, what do you want me to do with him? Dr. Williams looks at Thompson, who's now sweating profusely and breathing like he's having a panic attack. Officer Thompson, you're suspended without pay pending a full internal investigation. Your badge and weapon, please. Thompson's hands shake as he removes his badge from his uniform shirt. The piece of metal that represented 12 years of unchecked authority suddenly feels impossibly heavy. Ma'am, please. This is all a misunderstanding. I've been a good cop for 12 years. I've never had any serious complaints. You've had 12 serious complaints. Dr. Williams cuts him off. They were just handled by people who cared more about protecting officers than protecting citizens. Ma'am, please, Thompson begs, his voice cracking like a teenager's. I've got a family, a mortgage, kids in college. I can't lose this job. It's all I know how to do. You should have thought about that before you decided to slap your new boss, Dr. Williams replies without a trace of sympathy. You should have thought about it before you made it clear that you believe some citizens are worth less than others. Rodriguez takes Thompson's badge and service weapon, placing them in his desk drawer like evidence in a crime scene. Thompson, you're also forbidden from contacting any witnesses or discussing this case with other officers. Any violation will result in additional charges. As Thompson fumbles with his gun belt, Dr. Williams opens another folder. This one containing statements from the other officers who witnessed the assault. His backup has already thrown him under the bus. Officer Carter provided a very interesting account of today's events, Dr. Williams says. Reading from the report, she states that you fabricated the initial reason for the stop, escalated the situation unnecessarily, and committed unprovoked assault when I remained calm and cooperative throughout the entire encounter. Thompson's eyes widened with betrayal. Chen's a rookie. She doesn't understand how real police work gets done. She doesn't know what it's like out there. Real police work? Dr. Williams's voice carries a dangerous edge that makes both men in the room step back involuntarily. Officer Thompson, I've spent 2 decades studying what you call real police work. Why, it's exactly the kind of unconstitutional, racist, violent behavior that I was hired to eliminate from this department. She stands and walks to the window, looking out at the bullpen where officers are pretending to work while straining to hear what's happening in Rodriguez's office. Several have gathered near the door, their faces reflecting the dawning realization that their world is about to change dramatically. Your employment with this department is terminated, effective immediately. You'll face criminal charges for assault and battery on a police officer. And I'm personally going to ensure that every case you've touched in the past 5 years gets reviewed for civil rights violations. Thompson rises unsteadily from his chair, his career in ruins, his future uncertain. The man who walked into this office thinking he was untouchable now faces prison time and a lifetime ban from law enforcement. As he reaches the door, Dr. Williams calls out one final time. "Officer Thompson. Former Officer Thompson, you asked me earlier what kind of work I'd do that pays for a house in Westfield Heights. I reform police departments that harbor officers like you, and I'm very, very good at my job." Thompson stumbles out of the office like a man walking to his execution. In the bullpen, conversations stop as officers watch their colleague, the man who seemed untouchable just an hour ago, clean out his desk under Captain Rodriguez's supervision. The sight of Thompson packing his personal items into a cardboard box sends shockwaves through the department. Officers who thought they understood how things worked suddenly realize that the rules have changed completely. Officer Carter approaches Dr. Williams as she emerges from Rodriguez's office. "Ma'am, I want to apologize for not speaking up sooner. I should have stopped him before it got to that point." Dr. Williams studies the young officer's face, seeing genuine remorse and determination. "Officer Carter, you did speak up. Your truthful testimony is the reason we can move forward with criminal charges. That took courage, especially knowing you'd face retaliation from officers like Thompson. What happens now to the rest of us? Now, we rebuild this department from the ground up. We implement real accountability measures. We train officers to serve the community instead of controlling it. And we make sure that what happened to me today never happens to anyone else, regardless of who they are or what they look like." As word spreads through the department that Thompson has been fired and will face criminal charges, officers begin to understand that the old ways of doing business are over. Some look worried, wondering if their own conduct will survive scrutiny. Others, like Officer Carter, look hopeful for the first time since joining the force. Dr. Williams returns to Rodriguez's office to plan her first official day as chief. Outside, the sun is setting on Thompson's career and rising on a new era for the Central District Police Department. The woman Thompson thought he could slap into submission is about to transform everything he thought he understood about power, authority, and justice. Sometime later, the courtroom is packed as Judge Patricia Hernandez reads the verdict in the state versus Bradley Thompson. Dr. Williams sits in the front row, the faint scar on her cheek barely visible under carefully applied makeup, but the memory of that afternoon burns permanently into the city's consciousness. On the charge of assault and battery against a police officer, we find the defendant guilty. Thompson's shoulders slump as the words hit him. His attorney had tried to argue self-defense, claiming Thompson feared for his safety, but the video evidence was overwhelming. Multiple angles showed a calm, cooperative woman being violently assaulted by an officer who lost control. Judge Hernandez continues, her voice carrying the weight of precedent. "Mr. Thompson, your actions on that afternoon represent everything wrong with modern policing. You racially profiled an innocent citizen, fabricated charges, and committed unprovoked assault against someone whose only crime was existing while black in an upscale neighborhood." The judge pauses, looking directly at Thompson. "The fact that your victim happened to be your superior officer only adds irony to an already shameful display of police misconduct. Thompson receives 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and a lifetime ban from law enforcement." As the bailiff leads him away in handcuffs, his wife sobs in the gallery. Dr. Williams feels no satisfaction in his downfall, only relief that the system finally worked. But Thompson's conviction is just the beginning of the transformation that started with a slap heard around the world. On Dr. Williams' first official day as chief, She walked into the Central District Police Department wearing a navy blazer identical to the one she'd planned to shop for that day. The handprint was gone, but everyone remembered it. Her first departmental meeting lasted for hours. Officers who had grown comfortable with the old ways found themselves facing mandatory bias training, body cameras that couldn't be turned off, and a civilian oversight board with real teeth. "The culture of this department changes today," Dr. Williams announced to a room full of nervous faces. "Officers who can't adapt to serving the community instead of controlling it will find employment elsewhere." 12. Officers requested transfers within the first month. Another 8 were terminated after internal investigations revealed patterns of misconduct that had been ignored for years. Officer Carter was promoted to detective and became a key voice in the department's reform efforts. The community response was immediate and overwhelming. Crime reports from black citizens increased by 40% as people who had stopped trusting police began calling for help again. Complaints against officers dropped by 60% as the new accountability measures took hold. Marcus Henderson, the college student who live-streamed Thompson's assault, was invited to join the Civilian Oversight Board. His video, which had been viewed over 2 million times, became a case study in police academies across the country. "That slap changed everything," Marcus said during a panel discussion about police reform. "It showed the world what black people have been experiencing for generations. And it proved that when the right person is in the wrong situation, justice can actually happen." The Meridian Shopping District, where the assault occurred, installed a memorial plaque near the spot where Dr. Williams was attacked. It reads, "In recognition of Dr. Kesha Williams, whose courage under assault sparked meaningful police reform. May this place remind us that dignity cannot be slapped away." The ripple effects spread far beyond the Central District. The mayor's office received requests from 6 other cities asking Dr. Williams to consult on their police reform efforts. Her approach, holding officers accountable while supporting those committed to change, became a national model. Thompson's case also triggered a federal investigation into police practices nationwide. The Department of Justice used his conviction as leverage to force consent decrees on departments with similar patterns of abuse. 1 year after the assault, Dr. Williams stood at the same Meridian boutique where her ordeal began. The sales associate, the same one who had treated her with suspicion, now greeted her warmly. "Chief Williams, it's an honor to see you. How can we help you today?" Dr. Williams smiled, remembering her original mission that day. "I'm still looking for professional attire, though I suspect my definition of professional has evolved quite a bit." As she browsed the same racks where Thompson first spotted her, Dr. Williams reflected on the strange journey that brought her here. A racist cop's moment of violence had become the catalyst for the most comprehensive police reform in the city's history. The handprint was gone, but its impact would last forever. Sometimes justice comes from the most unexpected places, even from the hand of someone trying to silence it. 18 months after that fateful afternoon, Dr. Kesha Williams sits in her corner office overlooking the Central District Police Department bullpen. The wall behind her desk displays commendations from the Department of Justice, letters from community leaders, and a framed photo from her Harvard graduation, the same credentials that fell face down on the asphalt when Thompson grabbed her wrist. The statistics tell the story of transformation. Complaints against officers down 65%, community trust ratings up 180%, and crime clearance rates at an all-time high. But the real change is visible in the officers themselves, the way they interact with citizens, the pride they take in serving rather than controlling. Detective Sarah Carter knocks on the door carrying files from 3 excessive force cases that were reopened after Thompson's conviction. Each case resulted in justice for victims who thought they'd never see accountability. "Chief, the community forum starts in an hour. Are you ready for the anniversary presentation?" Dr. Williams touches her cheek unconsciously, a habit she developed after the assault. The physical mark disappeared months ago, but the memory serves as a daily reminder of why her work matters. At the community center, Dr. Williams takes the podium, looking out at faces that represent every demographic in the city. When she speaks, her voice carries the quiet strength that has become her trademark. That slap heard around the world taught us something profound about power and accountability. For too long, officers like Thompson believed they could abuse citizens without consequences because those citizens had no voice, no platform, no authority to fight back. She pauses, scanning the crowd. But justice doesn't depend on who you are. It depends on what's right. And what happened to me that day was wrong, regardless of whether I was a police chief or a shop clerk or a grandmother walking to church. The reforms implemented in the Central District have become a national model. The Williams Protocol requires officers to undergo bias training, submit to regular psychological evaluations, and face automatic suspension for any use of force complaints. Thompson, currently serving his sentence, has become an unlikely advocate for police reform. His testimony about the toxic culture that enabled his behavior helps other departments identify similar problems. One slap, 5 words, complete transformation, Dr. Williams concludes. But change didn't happen because of what Thompson did to me. It happened because of what we all chose to do afterward. The real victory isn't in the recognition. It's in the young black girl in the front row who no longer fears police officers and the rookie cop in the back who joined because she wants to serve a department that actually serves its community. Sometimes it takes a moment of profound injustice to reveal the path toward lasting change. Call to action. Have you ever witnessed someone's arrogance completely backfire on them? Share your story in the comments below. We read every single one, and your experiences help build this community of people who believe in justice and accountability. If this story moved you, smash that like button to help us reach more people who need to hear that change is possible. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our stories about ordinary people creating extraordinary change. What's your take? Do you think Officer Thompson got what he deserved, or should the consequences have been different? Let's discuss it respectfully in the comments. And remember, share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that dignity can't be slapped away, and justice sometimes comes from the most unexpected places. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one where we explore another incredible story of justice served.